The debut of Detective Wenli. Go Yang Yang, sir, my heart is yours to crush. Hey, it's Faith from Tiny Wave TV, and this is my Legend of the Galactic Heroes Journal, the Gaiden Edition. Shout out to Ghostfish for explaining to me what's what with the guidance and the advice to watch them in the chronological order, which I am taking. So the first thing about the first storyline, the title is perfect. These episodes show how Mr. Young Wenli, the historian trapped in the body of a soldier, found his way to and went further into that spiral labyrinth of military life, of war. But that historical murder investigation was itself a spiral labyrinth. Right, there you go. Perfect title. Now, chapter 1. How do I describe what I felt in those first couple of minutes? First off, the OP, love it. Especially this final part. Help me! Then we got Mafia. The fact that that was the very first thing he uttered, iconic. So this is the year 788 UC. My man is 21, his under eye area is smooth, and he looks small. Maybe a bit too small. I was doing the math, like, this is now 7 years before the main story, which started in 795. When they say, yo, let's go 6 more years back. And at this historical moment,
Wenli.
Has anyone ever called him Wenli? Just Wenli, besides his dad and myself. I don't think so. At any rate, seeing the young Wenli really cheered me up in those first couple of minutes. But doesn't mean I didn't notice the voice. Doesn't mean it didn't break my heart. The first couple of episodes, I couldn't decide what it was that I was feeling and thinking about the voice. Was it just bad, dry, apathetic, or I wasn't used to it just yet? I did come to somewhat accept it, you know, as another rendition of Wenli. But then Dusty showed up in chapter 7, and oh my god. I'll tell you why when we get there. So after losing Papa Young, Wenli is left with debts and a bunch of fake shit. There's a war going on, so the government doesn't spend much money on education. And since it's history's way, or the highway, broke Wenli ends up in the officer academy. But then the whole history department there gets abolished. It's always about the fucking money. Then we got to witness the birth of a great hero, which obviously wouldn't be possible if the future Mrs. Yang weren't there to save him from starving to death and later from choking to death. There you have it. The importance of women in Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Chapter 2. A lot was going on in this, but let's start here. Was Siddeley always this big? Y'all, I'm telling you, they made Wenli too small. Small body, huge ass reputation, and a whole lot of sass.
先人の労苦を思えば自分の幸福さにしみじみと感謝の気持ちが湧き起ころうというものだ。
ものか、ハイネセン自身にそう言われるならともかく、こんなところでぬくぬくしているあんたに言われたくない。
いや、私はあの頃から君の将来を嘱望していたんだよ。
本当に将来を嘱望していたのなら、5年前に学士を出してくれたらよかったのに。
今週のナイスガイというコーナーでぜひとも取材をお願いしたいのですが、何しろ翔さんは今読者アンケートで結婚したい男性のナンバー1でいらっしゃって。
人違いだな。
Wait a damn minute.
Watching these prequels is like a constant deconstructive, constructive process. We obviously perceive the events, dialogue, with the insight that we got from the main story. But what happened in the main story is in turn seen in a new light, you know? For example, Wenli thinking that no one's gonna marry him.
Pick me! Choose me! Love me!
And this part.
退役軍人って長生きなんだよな。そうなると周りから迷惑がられながら長生きして、近頃の若い連中はなんて決まり文句を並べて敬遠される。そんな年寄りになるのかな。
And that is Julian's dad, isn't it? But oh my god, Kazern.
それにだな、ここである程度の業績を上げておいたら素質ありということで戦士編纂所の研究員になれるかもしれんぞ。
本当にそう思いますか？
いや、これはお前さんを釣る餌だがね。
The directness. That's Alex freaking Kazern for you. So by the end of this episode, I was hyped up for this new venture, the debut of Detective Wenli. And the following episode did not disappoint. I mean, I'm a simple woman. Show me handsome dudes, I'll be happy and satisfied. This Bruce Ashby, well, his personality proved to be meh. The voice is also that is actually a deal breaker for me. But look at that face! And he's tall. Like, other dudes that I liked from his troupe were this guy, Jasper, hot stuff. Nice voice too. And this one, not gonna try the name, but he's just my type. Difficult, emotionally unavailable, sir. My heart is yours to crush. Though I believe Mr. Topar Yusuf, you know, he could crush my heart even better.
トパロール元帥のラブレターですか。
ラブレターと言えるかな。インフルエンザが流行して100万人が病床にあるそうだから100万1人目にならないこととか。
If that ain't the pinnacle of romantic shit, I don't know what is. Armed with the knowledge about these heroes of the past, we step into the next chapter. Wenli goes to meet the last of the Mafia dudes. Yeah, I'm gonna skip the whole Jessica thing. It was basically a whole AMV showing how and why Jean Robert was a better man than Wenli. Like, no, this is Wenli's fan club here, so no. I just love the fact that he keeps reminding us that he's a bibliophile. Him stepping into the dude's room full of books and going, oh, this is ideal. I mean, I want to be popular, but if I had the kind of time and energy to put into romance, I would just read books. Promotions aren't that bad after all. My salary goes up, I can buy more books. I love him. Two things about the stuff that the old man said. One, the Iserlohn fortress could have never been built. It plays such an important role in the main story, right? All because this one guy 40-something years ago made certain decisions. It's kind of scary too, you know? Losing an advantage that you could very well have because you weren't far-sighted enough. Number two, listen to this.
男の中には結婚して家庭に束縛されることに本能的な違和感を覚える例が多いようでな。
Men. Creating a whole discourse to explain and normalize what can be very simply described as hoe behavior. I mean, I'm not mad at the old man. He seems to have been a family man. He obviously didn't want to be dragged into this hoe's divorce debacle. He also has very realistic apprehensions about female rage. Nice. Moving on to the next chapter. With the kind of appetite that I have for hot anime dudes, you might assume that a flashback to 43 years ago, second battle of Tiamat, would make me happy. No. The Empire side were bland and boring, and all Ashby ever did was say,
これ以上の説明は無用だ。とにかく俺の言う通りにしろ。
You know what? Fuck this. Let's go!
People complaining about the homosexuals in our society. The homosexuals would have never been born. We've all been saved. So much hate.
Why is this like happening? Oh.
Goodbye, cruel world. This is for feminism. Westerlians could have been prevented, but Paul von Eberstein said
no.
Women are bitches. Boys delinquents.
RuPaul's just slap different.
You know what? Fuck. I'm gonna give my boss my motherfucking resignation. It's gonna say,
Bitch.
really
tall.
I'm gonna just enter my bad bitch era.
That was refreshing. Moving on to... wait. I didn't talk about the most important part of the episode.
応答せよ B04 砲塔
こちらは B04 砲塔砲術師アレクサンドル・ビュコック軍曹
It's Oldman Bucock. We got more of him in the next episode, like 2 more seconds. I don't care. I appreciate it. He was the highlight of chapter 5 and 6 for me, to be honest. Ashby's death gave me the chills, not because I gave a shit. It was so, like, Ruental's death, right? Chapter 7.
お久しぶりです。
Y'all, alright, here's the thing. Dust's voice and OG Wenli, they aren't similar in the sense of like, you can't tell them apart. No, they are distinct, but like, they give off the same vibe. There's this warmth in their voice, a playfulness to their tone. When they had conversations, their voices went so well with each other. It was so nice to listen to. Now, when they talk, it feels like night and day. I don't know, y'all either relate to this or think I'm over dramatic AF, which isn't wrong. Anyway, we got to see how the Mafia fellas ended up and
両者の公人としての関係は悪くなかったが私的な交友は途絶えて
互いの自宅を訪問することもなかった。
So what? I shipped them anyway. Just when the investigations were getting interesting, Wendy's new assignment was decided. Well, it was about to get a whole lot more interesting. I just didn't know at the time. Chapter 8. Look who's here.
ヤン少佐でいらっしゃいますな。パトリチェフ隊であります。
Aww. Well, my initial reaction wasn't that. I was like, yo, so that's how they met. Cool. Mr. Patrichev didn't get a lot of screen time in the OVA, right? So at this point, the most vivid memory I had of him was the scene that he died. He was dragging the drugged Wenli. You know what really hurts about Wenli's death? The fact that he was on those sleeping pills. He wasn't like alert, you know? Patrichev dragging him and they kind of look at each other for a sec before Patrichev just shoves him into that corridor and closes the door. And then, yeah. So I definitely enjoyed watching him in these episodes. He's the coolest. Him and Wenli mesh so well. I love that dynamic. Then came that flashback with Jessica.
私もあなたの親友のつもりよ。
The shit that girly says, like, I don't even want to get into it, but like this whole storyline of these two, it makes you think, why can't people be honest with themselves and with each other? Then you look at the circumstances and the reasons, and yeah, that makes sense, but it's still freaking stupid. When these Ashby investigations continue as he meets this dude, not this bitch, this dude.
そのジークマイスター提督という人は大佐のお知り合いだったのですか？
ケイは歴史の勉強が足りんようだ。
Dude's a history god. Questioning a history nerd, knowledge of history. Damn. I didn't expect anything crazy to happen at this point. I was like, yeah, more of Detective Wenli working on the case. But Tanaka-san said no one with an underwear like that should be allowed to sleep peacefully at night. Go Yang Yang. Deal with the riot. Chapter 9 hit me right in the feels with this. If you know, you know. Also, there was something that I didn't know. Yeah. Maybe he was small after all. I mean, for me personally, height is not important. No, hear me out. It's not about the height, it's about the personality. Alright, what else? Right. Oldman Kefenhiller joins Wenli and Patrichev as a hostage and starts spilling the tea. Contemporary tea, historical tea, what have you.
ブルース・アッシュビー提督の死は謀殺だという投書を軍部になさったのは大佐殿だったのですか？
LOL! Moving on to the next chapter, like...
こしてやめ、なんという悪党だ。
They got him though. They got him good.
認める。俺の罪は認める。だからプレスブルをなんとかしろ。
This whole episode was just hilarious. Fun and games. Well, until Murai showed up. I love him and I think anyone who whines about him being too strict is a brat. I also think he was the best dressed in ending number 3 of the OVA after Wenli. Loved seeing him do his job and excel at it in the next episode. And this historical moment. Damn, he's adorable. Then we got Oldman Kefenhiller's backstory, how he related to the Ashby situation. He was cool, a bit ugly when he was young, but cool. I liked it that he had Wenli at his beck and call. That was cute. In other news, Kazern is getting married. I love Madame Kazern, y'all know. I was excited to see her, but first.
世話になったね、大尉。い
やあ、こちらこそ。またご一緒に仕事ができれば嬉しいですな。
Y'all, I can't help it. I just keep remembering what will happen to them in the future. Don't worry though, I shall not drown in sorrow because Dusty is here. Y'all, who would have thought? There was such a solid reason behind him joining the military. That flashback with his father was the shit. You know what made it even better? Dusty's dad being voiced by the same VA as himself. Basically, Inoue-san was there having an argument with himself. That was just
legendary.
After a lovely dinner courtesy of future Mrs. Kazern, the stage was set for detective/historian Wenli to present his findings. Or like Oldman Kefenhiller's findings, which were found by Wenli, whatever. I just think thinking about how the Alliance blew yet another opportunity, right? Ashby used the info from the espionage network to win, but those victories didn't mean much in the long run. They didn't have much influence on the history of space, as the Old Man Roses put it. So that advantage wasn't used well. Then the boss was killed, it was lost forever. And on that note, I kind of think Michelson was taken out by Church of Terra people. Hell, even Ashby could have been taken out by Terra, I don't know. I just think there's no way for them not to have been involved in this, one way or another. Well, this was all hypothetical. One thing's for sure though.
そうね。出世はするでしょうね。でもきっと地位以上の責任をかぶることになるわ。
Always on point. Always. Also, loved her wedding dress. I mean everything. The hair, the accessories, the bouquet. That flower on her head, that needs to go. But the rest, excellent. Among the Alliance endings from the OVA, after ED3, because nothing can top that, this ED has the best visuals, methinks. Wenley with the ship, a real ship, comrades as constellations, beautiful. The song, though, in my head, it kind of gets mixed with ED4. Like 地図もなく足盤も持たず僕たちは航海に出た確かに勝手に産み落とされた命意味も価値も与えられないままに And then something else gets thrown into the mix 光の橋を越えて Which one is that? Anyway, thank you for watching and see y'all in the next one.